All right. So where are we at here? We are on our last little bit of this setup. I'm going to finish this, start and finish this lab on fail2ban with metric alerting, and then we're going to hopefully have the lab. I have this one last little section to finish right here, and when that's done, I'll be ready to publish the final part of this. All right, so last part of this. What do we need to do? We need to build fail2ban in. Then we need to build in Prometheus node exporter, telegraph, and influx DB. So we're gonna have to build all those pieces in with Grafana, and then we're gonna get ready to send those out to Alert Manager. So we gotta. The lab has been started. I've put it together. I need to start adding the pieces over here. So fail2ban with alerting. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to install and configure fail2ban. Then we're going to install and configure. It'll be Telegraph, Prometheus, and Grafana. So let's do Telegraph, Influx, DB, and Grafana. Down here, we'll install and configure. This will be node exporter and Grafana, or Prometheus. We'll get that set up, and then we'll configure the dashboard and send alerts to Discord. Now, for that to work, you're going to have your own Castampin over on the Twitch side. How's it going? On the YouTube side, or I don't know if that's Arian or Orion, but I'm just going to call you Ja. Hopefully that works, because I don't know how to say that right. So I'm just going to say, yep. How's it going, guys? We're not working too hard on a Sunday. Normally I do labs on Sundays, but I'm building a lab to finish up the Unit 7. I want Unit 7 to go well for everybody. So we're down in here, we're installing and configuring fail2ban, we're installing and configuring Telegraph, Influx DB, and then we're going to grab some images as we go to send the alerts. Configure dashboard and send alerts to Discord. There's going to be two different ways that we're going to send alerts, so maybe we're going to make that two. Do I want to make that two different labs? Now we'll do this as one lab. It's fine, or as one task, or one set of steps, because it'll be setting up Alert Manager, but then it'll also be setting up just the high thresholds inside of Grafana dashboards as well. So that'll be okay. Yeah, that'll be fine. All right. All right. Let's get to it then. Assets, we have all the assets. We don't need any of these Loki assets, so we could technically get rid of them. And we don't need the Promtail one either. So I could just delete those for now. Move them to recycling bin. We don't need them for the fail2ban with metric alerting. All right, we do need Prometheus. Yeah, we don't need Promtail either here. Okay. We'll take that influx, we'll take all that. These are things that we took from up here. So influx DB image, and also those three right there. So there's all the things that we need right there. So that's perfect. Let's look at our intro. It says welcome to Prolog configurations. Setup doesn't do anything, that's fine. Fail2ban with alerting. Install and configure fail2ban. We've got all the names right here, like we want them. Okay. I think that's fine. There's no foreground. It'll just spin until temp finish is written, and that gets touched right away, so that'll just finish. All right. So we're ready to do our steps now. We're ready to move through our individual pieces of the labs and build these out. So the first one says, so hold on, let's save this. First one says let's install and configure fail2ban. That should be right already. Your team is testing fail2ban. Protect SHD. Yep. So this part is all done. Yep. Yep. Good. So we'll save that. Step 2 is going to change. This is going to be install Grafana, Telegraph, InfluxDB, and Grafana. So Telegraph, InfluxDB, and Grafana on the system. So we'll start with Grafana because that's fine. I don't care the actual order up here. And we'll do the configuration. And then we won't do the Loki config next. This is not Loki next. Not anymore. Now it's going to be a kind of longer setup of the influx stuff. So the influx stuff is here. We started with Grafana on that one, so that's fine. We're going to do InfluxDB. Why is that all one? I'm going to have to go check this out. Why we did this as one command like this. But we're going to go test it and make sure it works anyway, so it doesn't matter. Assets, InfluxDB. Alright. If that's good, we'll be good there. And then we'll Control S and save this, and we'll go close this down. And the next part will be Telegraph. Install a repository for Telegraph. We don't really technically have to do that again, but we'll go ahead and do this. We'll fix the output, and then we'll make sure that all of this stuff is correct. That's fine. InfluxDB. And then we're going to do that part. So that'll be, wait a minute. Yeah, Telegraph. Okay. So that part's done. We're just stealing from my other labs that I already wrote. Right? That's the best way to do anything, is just steal. Now we're going to configure, we're going to do the node exporter now. So step 3 is going to become install. Node exporter and Prometheus. And that's going to come from this other set of steps that we have over here, which should be Grafana first. We got that already. And then it should be our node exporter. This is the node exporter section. Yep. We're going to put that down. Let's close that for now. Put it in here. Node exporter and Prometheus. Perfect. Drop that here. Here. So there's Prometheus. And the next part will be node exporter, which will be in this step here. That was node exporter. This will be Prometheus. Okay. All right. And then you can also verify Prometheus if you want as you're doing your steps. Let's come down here, step 3, install that, and it will scrape because we have it set to scrape. Okay. So if all of those things are done, step 4 is going to be setting up the two pieces. There's no stealing in open source. Yeah, not even stealing from yourself for sure. Let's go grab my final setup, which for this will be, this will be the Prometheus. So down here we'll say setup Prometheus connection in Grafana. That'll be here. And then, you know what, we might just take the concept of a solution completely out of this one and just go this way. So set up Prometheus connection in Grafana. And then we'll set up the influx one. So we'll say set up the influx. That'll be this one. And the other components of this that'll kind of matter will be up here for this one. Will be this. And we come down here to step 4 and we say, so this is, those are the pieces of, wait, hold on. What is this? I'm in the wrong one. I don't want to make any changes there. Definitely don't make any changes on this one, because this one's already good. Don't save. This one I do want to make changes in, which will be influx dB. So that'll be the Prometheus part up top. Yep. And then over here, this thing can save. Get out of here. And we need this other one here for influx dB now. So this is this one. This goes down here. All right. We need to probably say, close this down, close this down. We're going to need to make configure dashboards for all right. And then we're going to need to make, we're going to have to make one more. There's no way. I mean, yeah. I don't think we'll be able to do it without doing another one. So we'll do this, make this step 5 and step 5, and we'll say configure alerts. For Discord. All right. And then we'll just, for fun, we'll just copy step 4. Paste it in here, and we'll just rename it step 5. Copy. There we go. And then that'll be step 5, and then in step 5 we'll have the text markdown, which will be our brand new set of steps, and then our verify, which will just be, it'll just be a walkthrough. So now this is going to be a whole new set of steps for set up the alert manager alerting, set up, maybe we'll do the Grafana one first. Set up the Grafana alerting to Discord. And a Discord The reason I have to emphasize that is you can't connect to a webhook if you don't have a webhook, guys. That, I mean, I can't imagine that somebody wouldn't know that, but let's just say that you didn't know that and you made it this far. I will clearly say it, because that you can't send somewhere and not have anywhere to send it, right? So that's that. Go to sleep, get up, watch more. Yeah. Heck, can you tell me what you are doing so I can bookmark this and watch? So it's in the title, but we're building our last lab for the Unit 7 Security Engineering course. And all I say in the title is simply we're building a lab for fail2ban and alerting. That's the main thing we're doing right now. Yeah, I try to stick to whatever my title says so I'm not too far afield. But all we're doing is writing this last little part right here now. So we're going to set up the Grafana alerting to Discord. And actually, as we have it right now, we're going to send this up. We're going to commit this, and we're going to say that this lab will be live while I write the last part. So I'm going to say added lab on metric alerting. And as we do this, I'm going to capture my notes. And here's my trusty little notepad for this part. And we're going to fill this out as we go and make sure that I capture the right things and add them to the system over here as we kind of go. There's Ranger, if anybody cares about Ranger. Let's go over here. We're going to have to refresh this page here in a second and see if my Linux labs now have a fail2ban with alerting. Yep, so here's fail2ban with alerting. Although this is not done. And this is actually funny, like, I don't know, probably like 2 years ago, we were doing a lab on here, and I was literally actively building it over here. And then somebody in chat was like, it doesn't finish. And I'm like, I know it doesn't finish. You're watching me build it right fucking now. And they're like, it doesn't finish. I can't finish the lab. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? I was like, you're literally watching me build it and troubleshoot, and it's not done yet. And they're like, the lab doesn't finish. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, just here's a potato. Go walk over there in the corner. Like, I can't make you guys do this stuff, right? Like, if you don't want to know this stuff, I can't make you know it. I can help, I guess, but I can't make anybody do anything. Let's be clear on that. So let's install our fail2ban. Let's get our clients up. Let's set all this up. Yeah, I'm gonna need. Yep, there's some configuration things for. I'm gonna have to add some stuff to the configuration. So let's go down here. Oh, come on. So that is that. We'll add these lines here. I really should just move these over to the left so that you can just grab them and copy them. I don't think it matters that much, but we just like to clean up the lines for. Then we got to go down to. By the way, all the stuff I'm doing is over here on the left. I'm just not calling it out because we've done it a bunch since yesterday. So, okay, so you do your SSH, you fix your SSH, escape :WQ, come down here, restart fail2ban, make sure it's running, it's active running, then you hit Q, and then the SSH node 01, you cause it to break, cause it to lock out, cool. Come back over here, you see, oh, you gotta exit. Come back, oh, do I not have us? I didn't make us exit explicitly, I probably should. That's fine. Tail 20 shows the one that got banned right there. We say fail2ban get banned, we see that that's the one that's banned, and then we're going to unban it with fail2ban client set shd unban IP and give us the paste IP, and it'll unban it. And then now you should see that getting unbanned right there. There's its unban action. Then we SSH over to control plane. Oh, sorry, we SSH to node 01, and then we SSH back to control plane, and we're back in business. All right, there we go. And we can exit out of that one too. All right, that part's all good. Let's install Telegraph InfluxDB and Grafana. So this will take a second to do. This is the Grafana part. All right, let's make sure that's there. Okay, get that. Install Grafana. Everything should be good there. This part takes the longest, and then we're gonna go write the rest of the lab when we have. Basically, we got to get the first part of the lab done so that we can write the last part, which kind of makes sense, I guess. All right, daemon reload, start, see that it's running, and yeah, active running. It's not started to start up when the server comes up, but we're not worried about that for right now. We give it about 10 seconds and run it, and we'll see that it's listening, so that's cool. We can go in and we can set the password for right now. Get rid of Ranger Cam for right now. We're gonna go set the password and log in for the first time and do all that stuff for right now. Then our next part will be over here and setting up our admin. Okay, I don't want any of that crap. There we go. Change password. We don't want any of this. All right. So password's good. We can go in. We can set all these pieces up. All right. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to install the InfluxDB2 stuff. We're going to make sure. Oh, whoops. We're going to install it first. We're going to start and enable it. Make sure that's listening. It is 8086. Good. We can go connect to it now. And in connecting to it, we can open this image in a new tab and see what we would kind of set up as user and password lab and test. So we'll let that start up. InfluxDB will be a little slow. So you get started. Username is going to be user. Password is going to be initial organization is going to be lab, and bucket's going to be test. All right. So we're going to have that to remember what we chose. Change your password. I don't care. So now we're ready. We're going to need a connection for our API token. So I'm pretty sure I say that in the lab. Keep your API token. Copy those pieces of information out to Notepad. You will need them shortly. Yeah, organization, bucket, and token. So we're going to keep this. And for now, we would come over here to like our little guy here, and we would just keep our token for now, you know, somewhere out of the way. All right, good. Then we move forward. We're going to do the repository for Telegraph, but that's already going to be there. We're going to install Telegraph, and then we're going to go and we're going to turn on the InfluxDB part. We're also going to turn on another part right now. So let's go make sure this other part. So VI InfluxDB. We're going to go / to influx. Oops. And on influx, we're going to hit N a few times until we get the correct one. And we're going to modify it like is shown right here, where we can see the token. And the token is, of course, the one that we just grabbed. So there's our token. Organization, we literally just had, which is, looks like I've changed it there. But over on the picture, we're going to go off of the picture because that's what I just built. So the picture was lab and test. So organization was lab, and the bucket was test. I don't care what you guys do, but I would just tell you to make sure it's the same. So, oh man, I kind of want to fix this, but well, it doesn't matter because if you're reading, then it'll be lab and test because that's what you should have done. So, all right, good. Escape : WQ. Actually, let's write that and let's go look for fail2. So here's reading from fail2ban, and we should be able to read fail2ban, and we should be able to see that. Now, there's one thing that I need to go check here, which might have to be set. Let's go look at this. So you see how this is owned by root and it's 700. The Telegraph user, or Telegraph, is being run. Oh, is Telegraph not running right now? Let's restart it real quick. Hold on. Start Telegraph. It's fine. Should still be running. Let's look at the process and see how it's being run by the Telegraph user. That user, that permission, this process can't read this. So to be able to read it, we need to have this fail2ban accessible. And I got to look at how I did it in the home lab. I'm pretty sure in the home lab when I did that. It's been so long since I've done this. Let's just go look. Let's just view telegraph. Here's the original InfluxDB. Here's the version 2, right? Writing out there. And then, fail2ban. Yeah, so I set use sudo to true. All right, so if we're going to use sudo true, that'll work, but then I need to make sure that I set fail2ban to have sudo permission. So there's a couple things I got to add in this lab now for this part to work. So we'll set that line. That's how I did it originally, right there. So we'll have to add that as a thing. So what is this? Command alias is fail2ban. Fail2ban uses fail2ban client status and fail2ban client status with anything, and then it can do anything it wants to against the command's fail2ban command alias, as long as, and with no password. Yep. So that's what we need. And then the defaults are not fail2ban2, not log file, not syslog, and not pam session. So those are just some config settings that you can do inside of sudoers. Everton best, well, nobody understands it until they get into it, but after they do, it's like riding a bike. you just gotta get in and work on it. After you work on it for a little bit, it'll either stick or you'll go be a Windows admin. Oh, that's terrible. I did not mean to do that. Damn it! How long has that been up? I did not mean to have I can answer that for money up. I don't know how long ago that happened. Probably a while ago because I haven't been looking over there. All right, so I've got all the pieces there. Let's go add these into the lab so I have them. Shit. And then we'll fix it. Now, I want to do that in the section on setting up telegraph. So that's all the node exporter stuff. Maybe telegraph's up here. Yeah, so here's telegraph. Also, fix the section on telegraph so that you have permission, so that it can read fail2ban information. Those lines look like this. Oh, really? The heck? There we go. Oh, all right. So fix those two lines. So now we're reading from fail2ban, and then give the user sudo permissions to read from the client. That's going to be right here. So this will be one or two of those. Two. Okay, it is two. Vi etc sudoers.d Is that still the same line? Yeah. So 3 lines. Add the following 3 lines. And I'm going to say right here, sudo does not require restart. All right, sudo doesn't restart. Sudo just reads from the file every chance it gets, right? Restart telegraph and do that. Okay, so that part of the lab should be good as far as we're going to be able to read out of fail2ban, and we'll test that here in a little bit when we get to it. Did I set it on here then? I did not set it on here, so let's go, whoops, let's go fix it here. So we need to go into telegraph.conf, go to fail2ban, and that's input fail2ban, and we're going to modify this so use sudo is true. There's nothing in here for us except now fail2ban, and we're going to add the line for fail2ban, these 3 lines right here. And if you really care, right, then that's terrible looking. Okay, yeah, if you really care, then you can do a to verify this is right. Let me go throw this in the note or in the actual lab for a second. So to verify, use the command is sudo -l -u telegraph. So sudo -l -u telegraph. And then now we'll see that he has the permission to do any of these commands with no password. Do you guys see that? So we set that value in there. All right, Control S, save that page. We've set it over here, so we should be able to keep running forward. Oh, validations failed because we didn't restart telegraph. And then telegraph reference unset environment variable to an empty string telegraph ops. I don't even know. Did we do that? What's our validation for the? Oh, our validation for this one's busted because it's loki.service. It'll be, I don't know, telegraph.service. And then what's our one on this one? This one won't be promtail service anymore. This will be, what's this lab? I don't know. Node underscore exporter dot service. All right, that's fine. There we go. Node export dot service. So save that one. We're going to be stuck on this lab now. So we're going to have to save it and restart. We're going to save that. We can just get out of that one. Okay. All right. So now we're going to push those up. Fixed verification of step 2 and 3 in lab 110. I don't know. Something short for the git commit. Push it up. We're going to back out of this lab and we're going to do it again. Going through the labs again, guys. That's what we do. M4600, what are your thoughts on Netbox, and do you think it's worth learning as a Linux sysadmin? I don't know what Netbox is, so I'm going to say no, but that's just because I don't know what it is. Let's go look real quick. We'll wait for that lab to... Well, hold on. Let's go make sure that the connection's been made. Hold on. So that is my time, so that's 24. Okay, so that's run, so we'll do that here in a second. But yeah, let's go. I don't know what this tool is, so we're gonna have to go look at it. Netbox Linux. I literally don't know what this is. I mean, you can't go wrong learning IPAM tools, but I don't know. So it's a CMDB that also functions as an IPAM. It's got API calls and GraphQL calls, so that's good. This is always open under Apache 2. Well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that it's bad. I'm not saying anything bad about it. I just had never heard of it. I think that anything that's going to teach you IPAM, which is your address management stuff, is going to be good. Especially if you have zero IPAM experience, you can at least put that on a resume, and then that looks good to a team that they're like, oh, this person understands IPAM. Yeah, the other stuff, I don't know as much of the other stuff. I've never seen it run professionally, though, so I'm not saying that it's not a professional tool. I'm just saying I've never seen it anywhere, so I don't know how good it is for that kind of stuff. But I would tell you, yeah, if you have nothing on your resume about that topic and you want to have, at least something on there, you can say I set up an IP address management system and understand how it works in a, medium, small, medium-sized business. I guess you could set it up for larger business too. But yeah, that's probably some value. There's probably some things you can get out of it, I imagine. All right, these are part of the lab now. So now we're going to move down and we'll get ready for that. If we can get all the way to the end, we're going to check all the configuration stuff that we should have. So let's see if this will work for us. Make this bigger so you guys can read it. And we're testing fail2ban to protect our SSHD process on the server. You've decided to build a proof of concept. Install fail2ban. Get it on here. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Linux. I think Linux is a good tool for furthering your career if you guys want to be in the engineering space for sure. All right, fail2ban client version going to be our next command. This is taking a little bit of time to install. Okay. Come on, lab. You can do it. All right, there we go. We're going to go fix the jail. The jail is going to get these lines. And we're going to get max retry equals 5. Find time equals 10, and ban time equals 4 hours. That's fine. / SSHD and go turn off these other ones. You can either comment them out or just toss them, but we don't want those in there anymore. Escape : WQ. Restart the service. Make sure that it's running. It is. Hit Q. SSH to node 01. Block the system. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doesn't ever talk again. Yep. And then we're going to get out of there. We're going to exit back out. We're going to look on this one and see that here's the banned IP address. Okay. We'll go look and we'll see that that's the banned IP address. Yes. And then we'll unset it. Right, so we'll unban that IP. It's no longer banned, and then we should be able to go over to node 01 and SSH back to control plane with no problems. All right, so we're good. So we move forward and we do the rest of the lab. Stephen Vetz, you said you forgot to install fail2ban. Yeah, I think fail2ban's a great tool. We can see a lot of info with it and lock stuff out pretty well. It's a pretty good IPS type system, and we're using it in this lab today to alert. So we want to alert stuff out. So now this one is install and configure Telegraph, InfluxDB, and Grafana. So we're going to do Grafana first. Get Grafana on the system. Get Grafana running. Yep. All right, so this one's going to take a little while to install Grafana. Yeah, I think I average a few every 10 minutes or so, and then just day and night, you're always going to get scanned. There's never going to be a time when you're not getting scanned out there. If you're exposing something to the web, you're going to be getting hit all the time. So you have to have something reasonably in place to stop people. And fail2ban jailing is a pretty effective little way of doing it. Especially with mine. I set mine to never unban. So the one in this lab unbans after 4 hours, but the servers won't exist anymore. but in my home lab it unbans or bans you forever, so you never get back in. So the IP address is burned. So in fact, when people burn themselves out of our labs, then I have to give them access back via IP. That same basic process there. All right, we see it running. We're gonna make sure, give it a few seconds, 10 seconds or so. We don't see it listening yet because it takes a little bit. And now we do see it listening. So good. We'll go set up our Grafana and get ready to do the rest of the lab here. I think we'll do the Grafana part first because then the alert manager can come second. Okay, we're going to get in here. And we're not ready to set anything up in there yet. We've just set the passwords and everything. All right, next part, InfluxDB2. Get that on there. There's a question from Jamie Callis. I've been researching home lab setups with security in mind. Any tips? Yeah, I have a fair amount of things that I do in the home lab, and I show them pretty much to all of you guys. And we're doing a whole security engineering course on this, but I guess if the general question is, you know, what do we do? Let me just pull up Excalidraw. And this is kind of our home lab environment here, right? This is the home lab. I would tell you, it depends if you want to come in from the outside in. And if you're going to do that, you want to set up a bastion node and a way to get in if you're going to from anywhere. So like I allow people to come in from anywhere on the web in either the admin or security labs, and they come in through a bastion node and get jailed and sent back to the Rocky labs where they can go do whatever they want, right? So if you say, well, okay, I won't do any external connections, then I say, okay, well, that's easy. Just lock it all down. Don't expose ports. Don't expose anything to the outside world. Make sure you have a router that's doing at least stateful packet inspection. Stateful packet inspection always implies that you have a trusted internal, external is untrusted, and reflexive access lists are created on the fly as communications go out. It allows the communications back in. That's about the best most of us can do in a home lab environment. Now, then your home lab is really just not on the network. You're just connecting to it from home, and this isn't truly an air gap, but it functionally is just not allowing anything to connect. So, I mean, it's an inbound air gap, I guess. But then my point in that would be, well, the more you want to open up and the more you want to share out, the more you have to think about what you're doing with those connections that come in. Connections that come in need to be limited, and they need to be... God damn it, that fucking thing keeps popping up. That's it. I'm going to delete that thing. I'm just going to lock it so it can't pop up. Fuck, man. Anyway, so I like that as a joke, but I don't like when it just keeps popping up when I'm doing other shit. That stupid little thing down here in the corner. Yeah, so over here, you lock things down because you don't expect connections in, and then you monitor the crap out of everything. So you logs and apps. So this is like my logging. These are all the people in the last 6 hours that have tried to get in and gotten themselves probably banned out forever. Probably with security, we'd see that. So on my security and connectivity, you'll see that some people have been trying. Here's all the failed login attempts for the last 90 days in my system. And these are the things that have gotten banned out forever. Now, this isn't a very obvious one because it's like from 49 up to like 52K almost. But that's a few thousand IP addresses have been banned in the last 90 days. 52,000 total now, but we were up over 1 million at one point from this. I've had to reset this before for people. Also, this system's been down before, so you can see when it was down. But then, yeah, you just track everything. Make sure your DNS queries are going out correctly. Make sure your ping is up, you know, and not slow to any of the major systems out there. And yeah, you just monitor everything, monitor and track everything that's going on. And then you just make sure that you have some cluster management that keeps your servers healthy. In fact, I actually got to go fix those, but I'm not going to do it right now. But anyways, let's get back over here. So where was I at? I installed the InfluxDB. That'll be next. Let's start it, and then let's get it going. I think I do need to fix this damn lab. All right. right, so Influx will be on the machine now. Poor little machine's really going to be getting worked. Start it, enable it, run it. There it is. It's running. Okay, good. We're going to go look at that process now. And we can go ahead and get rid of this because this is from the old one. And our token is equal to, when this comes up, we're going to get a token. And we're going to use username. If we come back over here, we'll see how we could do this. Open the image in a new tab. I'll pull the tab over here so it's out of the way. And it'll be user. Organization name is lab and test. Continue, and it'll give us, motherfucker, that. There's our token. Boom. Right. So here's our token line for when we get to that token section. All right. We could just leave that open. It doesn't really matter anymore. We keep coming down. We're going to install Telegraph. Well, it doesn't matter for this right now anyways. Install Telegraph. Get it on there. We're going to go into our Telegraph section and we're going to do all of our configs from earlier and make sure those are all going to work for what we want. Okay. Go look at Telegraph / influx db, and we need to allow this, which is right there. We see our token, and we can add but we need to, at the beginning of this line, make that a lowercase t. Organization is going to be the organization that we picked, which I think was lab and test, right? So here's our lab and test stuff. Yeah, lab and test. So organization is lab, and bucket is test. Organization, lab, bucket, test. Okay, let's comment that out, or uncomment that. All right, now we're going to write that, and we're going to go look for fail2ban, which is down here is the next thing you need to do. And you're going to uncomment these lines. So boom, boom, and boom. So that's going to be used. It doesn't matter if it's indented. And escape : WQ. And then we're going to VI. Actually, I'm just going to hit the button and make sure it does exactly what I want. Ah, I need to fix that. Hold on. There's a command I missed. On fail2ban. Near the bottom. Oh, we're on the wrong one. In here. When we set this. Oh, no, I guess I assume, no, I assume you're still in the same file. Okay, that was my bad. That's okay. Yeah, you were in the same file still. So, all right. We'll go look at sudoers Telegraph. There's nothing in there. And we're going to grab this. Paste it. Escape : WQ. And then just for fun, sudo -l-u Telegraph, and we'll see it. And then we'll restart the Telegraph service. And if that's running, which it is, so status, we see that it's running. Look at the output above and verify that Telegraph's properly writing. So Telegraph should be writing to, we should see it calling influx. It's weird, I don't see it. I don't care about Telegraph hops. Normally we do see Telegraph writing over there. All right, we'll let that ride, and then we'll see where we get to here in a second. All right, check, boom, that should validate successful. Now we're going to do node exporter in Prometheus, so we're going to make dir for node exporter CD over there. Can download and extract the right version of this. Hopefully I have these. See, that's exactly what I was thinking. I don't have that, so I didn't bring those all from this one I don't have. Where's my node export? How do I not have node exporter service in there? It's right there. Oh, I see. Okay, so here's the problem, guys. When you move these things over, you've got to take the you've got to actually explicitly give those hosts. So these files were never loaded. So these files have to be loaded. And let me come down here to this and say under index.json. All these other ones get loaded, but these ones were not. So the ones that I also don't need anymore on this one are the Loki, the prom tail, and any of that. Actually, all of that is not needed. But there's one other one that's up there that I do need. So, yeah, that one actually isn't needed. So no Prometheus. Okay. All right, gotta fix. Text.md. Okay, we didn't change anything there. Kind of want to fix this one line that I don't think is as clear. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, I want to change this to be the right ones. So I have it as test and lab, right? Yeah, organization is lab and bucket is test. Let's say lab and bucket is test. Okay, because then we just have that. All right, save that. Fixed some, what we're doing, fixing the, fix some file load to host in lab issue. All right, so we fixed that. That's gonna sync. Now we got to go back out, and we got to do the lab again. Sometimes labs are boring, guys. Well, the building of labs can be boring, I think. Motherfucker. All right, I'm deleting it. I didn't want to have to delete it, guys, but it won't stop popping up. So actually, no, I got another way we can do it. We do it in studio mode, so even if it pops up, it doesn't matter. There we go. All right. Problem solved. We've solved the problem. Yeah, by the way, we had pretty good streams last night. We did our Unit 7 Linux sysadmin, and then we did our Unit 7 of security engineering. I'm actually finishing the last little bit of that lab out right now for everybody, so that's what I'm working on here. That's what I'm working on getting done. And then I can send out the lab to everybody. And it's mainly the alerting portion that I got to do last now. We'll get the alerting going. So all right. Pull it up. Here we go. All right. We're gonna do our fail2ban stuff. We're just gonna get it on there and running. We're just gonna, well, we're gonna blow through it. That's what we can do. Go in here, fix this. Where'd it go? There we go. All right. There's all the ones we need to remove. Escape :WQ. Restart the service. Happy. Make sure everything's good. Hit Q. We'll SSH to node 01. We'll cause the fail. Yep. Now we're locked out. And then we will jump out of node 01. We'll go see the error over here. There's the error. There's the IP. We'll see the banned IP right there. Yep. And then we'll unban it. Fail2ban client set SSHD. That's the jail. To unban IP of the IP that's there. And then now it will be unbanned. We won't see it in there anymore. And then we could go and we could test the real connection, which I'm fine with all that. So I'm going to move this forward. And we're going to do the telegraph part. So Grafana first. A little bit of a long one. Let that get up, and then we'll install Grafana. M4600 said, as a data center technician, manage using iPixie MegaRAID, DD Rescue, DD Smart, CTL, and Bind 9 monitor services, Isinga, and PDUs in Grafana. Would this experience get me Linux admin interviews? It's definitely part of it, M4600. That all those skills and your iPixie is also good with if you understand IPAM and Redfish and probably IPMI tool. So those are probably some other skills there that would be good. That would be what I would call like the base, like floor level of doing Linux for HPC. So for people that are not familiar, all those terms that were just mentioned, what's happening is that's how we're maintaining the server and turning the server on remotely, right? A lot of those things right there that he mentioned are how do we get the server to do the things we want from across the world, so I don't have to go into like a Chicago data center, right? I just want to be able to get to it from anywhere. So let's get out of this. Is the old ones here, so we're restarting. Yeah, so that would be a good part of it. The other things I would tell you, you definitely want. I mean, if you want to get into high performance compute, which is what I do with Linux, you need to know the Linux side well. Actually, I'll give you guys a list because I have kind of my things. I have my things in Linux on the Linux side that I think work well for high performance compute. But if you're just trying, let's say you're just trying to get into a basic Linux job, I think that would help. All those things that you just mentioned right there would help. The more that company is focused on Linux in the data center, the more that all those things are going to probably matter right there. All right, hold on. Let's keep going. So we did that. We got in there. Let's set up our InfluxDB. Yeah, is that all set up? Good. Okay. Get our InfluxDB installed. We're going to get this started up. Let's make sure that my changes were taken. Yeah, but I definitely, I think some of this, I mean, I came in from the networking side. That's how I got into Linux, was being a network guy. And then, see, that's running. All right, so we're going to go connect into that. And as we do, we're going to look at our config in a new tab. We already have this open in a new tab. So we can just open that up and look at it. And then we're going to hop in here and we're going to set those values. So user, password 1234567 1234567 and then organization name is lab and bucket is test. Good. Boom. That should also be now, that should also be now what's shown. Oh, here's our, gotta grab that. And then, that's wrong, it's different info. Here's our token, and we're gonna make that lowercase t just so that it can, really? I didn't even know that kind of tooling existed still. All right, grab that. Come down here, and it says to make sure that we've installed Telegraph. Get that all going. Then we're going to go look at Telegraph, and we're going to modify it and change it so that it works. All right. Come on. Come on. All right. Influx. /influxdb. Take us down to here. We want this one uncommented, this one uncommented. We'll just blow that line away and drop our line in there with Control-Shift-V. There's our token. You can move it in if it makes you feel better, right? Then we can get rid of organization and buckets, comments. Organization is going to be lab, and bucket is going to be test. Let's pull that up just because maybe my brain doesn't work anymore. And lab and test, there we go. Organization, lab, test, cool. Escape :Q, but we're not exiting, and we're looking for fail2ban. And we're going to allow fail2ban to read using sudo. Escape, whoops, don't do that. Use sudo set to true. And by the way, these are all down here, so I'm not like making stuff up. It's right here in the lab. Escape :WQ, restart. We got to go set something. I really should have us restart. Oh, that's fine. We'll go look at sudoers for telegraph and add these 3 lines in. Boom. I think I have a copy function I could use. But there's our PAM session. Good. All right, so that's all copied. Escape :WQ. We'll do our sudo-l-u telegraph. He can do anything he wants, and we'll restart the service. And telegraph should be that. Now I'm interested in why that telegraph ops thing is coming up, so I'm going to go look in here and look at ops. Is it ops? What was that value? OPTS. Huh. That's not set. It's not set in here, so I don't know where the hell that's getting set, but it's not getting set in the value. There must be some other thing. They must have some other place where opt is getting pulled from. Maybe even in here. The heck is it? Well, there's nothing in there either. Yeah, I don't know where it's. Oh, it's grabbing some opt that it's not able to read, but that shouldn't matter. That should not matter. We should be able to come over here to InfluxDB now if we wanted to, and just go say quick start. Who cares? And I want to go look at our buckets, and we should have a bucket now of monitoring coming out of Telegraph. So wait, no, tasks and monitoring are already there. Oh no, here's our test bucket. So test bucket should have data. Yeah, here's data coming out of fail2ban. So like CPU and like usage guest, and then I could like submit it and I could see information. But one of the ones that should be coming out of here is fail2ban. Here it is. And fail2ban, let's get rid of this filter. Damn it. Get rid of that filter. Fail2ban should have field host and jail. So jail is SSHD. And then we should be able to see if there's any that are banned. And right now we should be at 0. But we can let that run for a second. Watch. Let that run for a second right here. This will run. This will load every few seconds. I guess we could push the button as well. But watch, we'll come over here and we'll go to SSH to node 01 because we did this earlier. And we're gonna make ourselves banned. Control C, exit. And over here, if that's reporting in near real time, this should jump to 1. So in a few seconds, when somebody's been banned, there's 1. See that? So now we're at 1. And then we're going to use the script editor to grab this. This is going to be the example that we need for this. So I'm going to copy this and throw this over here because I'm going to need that for the test here in a little bit. That's what we're going to feed into Grafana when we want to see it. And we're going to alert when we get to even just 1. So see how that's 1 now? Now if we go to Grafana and we say we want to use a connection, and we're going to connect to InfluxDB. So this will be part of the next part of the lab. Maybe I should wait until we get there to validate that it's all good. But anyways, we'll set a InfluxDB. We'll use localhost. So HTTP 127.0.0.1. And then the port is 8086 by default for Influx. But down here, we're going to say, right here, we're going to use the Flux query language because we're on InfluxDB 2. So we're going to use the Flux query language. We're going to do all this. Good. If we save and test, we're having an error because we didn't save a test right. The organization is going to be lab. Token, the bucket's going to be test. And the token is going to be our big old long token from over here. I know it's a hassle, but you got to set it up. Now it's going to read and it's going to say, hey, bro, I found all your data sources. Cool. I love that about Grafana. When you get something to connect, it connects all the way through. So now I can go to the dashboard section and do that, but we're not ready for that in the lab. We're still going through the lab. So hold on. Let's get Node Exporter up, I think, next. Yeah. So Node Exporter, get it installed. Let's make sure our copy works now. So now our copy should work. Our cat should work. Our daemon reload should work. We should be able to scrape. Watch, we're going to scrape right here all of our metrics. Cool. So then we're going to add Prometheus user, and we're going to build in Prometheus. We're going to download everything for Prometheus. And we're going to fix the permissions for Prometheus. Well, when it's done, fix the Prometheus permissions, make a directory for it, cat out the file that's going to scrape everything. We've got Prometheus doing the scrapes like it should. There's its startup. There's its run. Hold on. Did I not copy in? Oh, here's our Prometheus answers. There it is. Restart it. Prometheus should be running. And if I really wanted to, I could go look at Prometheus on this server. There we go. Right there. Boom. All right. So we've got all the base. Oops. Why did our validation fail in this Prometheus one? Is Node Exporter? Node Exporter. Node Exporter.service is working. So where is my lab breaking? So let's go back over here. We're in step 4, I believe, which is no. That's the Prometheus to Grafana setup. Let's come over here. Where's the verify for this going? Oh, reconnect. Paste. Huh. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, dude. Can you guys see this? Fucking typo got me. Where's my service? I could just say Node Exporter and not even have the service, but alright, screw it. Alright, this lab will not continue anymore, so now I have to say updated step 4, step 3 validation. Boom, commit. Sync changes. And you might say, well, Scott, this is really terrible. You got to do the whole lab over. Yes, I do. I got to do my whole lab over again just to get to the next part. Isn't that annoying? But it's the way that these things kind of go. I mean, I guess I could skip the check and not really worry about it and just keep going on with the other part of the setup. Actually, maybe that's what we'll do. Yeah, we'll just keep going. And the next part of these would be to set up the Prometheus with the data sources, which we already did for InfluxDB. And, you know, I'll pull it up like this. Boom, move that over. Boom, pull this up. Come back over here. And we're just going to go right to lab 4. And lab 4 is we're going to set up, we've set up that. We're going to go set up the other data source, which will be Prometheus. And we're just going to do normal Prometheus right here. And add data source. And then Prometheus will be 127.0.0.1 right? You can see that right here. Support 9090. Yep. Authentication. We don't have any authentication. We're just going to save and test, and it'll say, yep, I was able to hit the Prometheus API, and that's good. That means we have 2 working data sources for this system right now. We have 2 working ones that we can go and we could build our dashboards for. So now we're going to come in here and we're going to import some dashboards. So for the first dashboard, we're going to import 159. That is right here in the notes, import 159. And when we do that, we're going to load it and we're going to select the Prometheus data source. So boom, import, and boom, there's our Prometheus for the server. So there's that one. Now we're going to go back over to dashboards and we're going to import a one for our influx. And I think on the influx one, I just make you build it. I'm pretty sure I just make you build it. I don't give you, yeah, I'm just going to have you go ahead and, this is the only one where I make you just build a new dashboard. And you're going to just add visualizations to this with InfluxDB. And for InfluxDB, you're going to copy in this. So I'm gonna have to do this, drop it here, and then if we say to be time series, save the dashboard real quick, just say, I don't know, influx, it doesn't matter the name, save, boom. There's that one, right? There's that one that was happening in the system in real time, and then we'll go and we'll clear that out, and we can name the panel and do all that kind of stuff. But then we're going to make one be a threshold for an alert, and then we're going to have the alert go through. So I know this is probably, actually this is starting to really become my most complex lab, but choose a query of filter data source influx db, add in this query for fail2ban from influx db. Oops. I think it's copy. Is that right? Does that look good? Yeah, that looks fine. That'll work. Those are all their own lines. Good. Yep, you don't want the lines to wrap and not work. Okay. Good, good. Verify that the dashboard is working properly. Good. Boom. So we see the one. And then the next part will be we're going to alert on these. So this gets a little more complex, and I don't really remember all of this, but we'll have to go to alerting, define our alert rules, right? And our alert rules are, we're going to choose a point, and we need to have our data sources dashboard. Okay. Use influx. Actually, in alerting, we're going to have to make our contact point first. So we're going to create, create contact point for Discord. So, boom. You're going to have name Discord. Integration is going to be Discord. Where's he at? There he is, Discord. And then we're going to need the webhook URL, right? So we're going to need to know, create a contact point for Discord. Set name Discord. Integration Discord. Webhook. Collect from your Discord channel or prolog Discord. And then save contact point. There you go. Create contact point, and then under alerting, okay, so we're going to create a contact for Discord, and then now if I have the webhook, let me go grab the webhook real quick. We don't normally show webhooks on screen, and I won't actually show you guys the full webhook, but let me go grab. I'll show you guys where it is for people that are in the Discord and in the system. So on the lab server here, it's under webhook, right? And in the webhook, you need to have the encryption key, which is the password to open it. That's the same default password from our system. So I got to go find, hold on, pull that over here, other window, and I got to go find that password real quick because I don't remember it. There it is. There's my password. Copy, drop that in there, drop it in there again, and here's my webhook now. And my webhook shouldn't show completely, so I should be able to paste it in here. Boom. Yeah, the whole thing won't show. So then I can test it, but while we go to test it, hold on, let's pull up our Discord here real quick. So, fucking Discord. Who even knows what's going on in Discord, guys? Just a bunch of madness. This is going to write out to our sandbox channel. So when I hit test right here, he will send test notification. It should pop up right here. See that? Grafana app file. I had never done it to this Discord before, especially with this box. And boom, there we go. There's our setup. There's where my dashboard came from. Firing test alert for test folder Grafana. So now I have the alert set and I know that it's going to send, right? So then we would save contact point. So say test and save test and yeah, test to Discord. So test to Discord and then save contact point. It will write in the Prolog sandbox channel if you use that webhook from the lab, right? And then save your contact point, and then you'll be ready to set your alert next. All right, so let's get this out of the way. So now we have the Discord one. Now we'll go back to alerting, and we're going to set alert rules. So manage alert rules, and from the influx system, we're going to have a new alert rule, and that's going to come from we can drop this same one in if we want. When last is above, above 0 actually will work. So preview, if it goes above 0, this will trigger. And then set evaluation behavior pending every 1 minute. Configure notification to a contact point of Discord, right? And then sent by het to Discord, right? That's a summary of what happened and why. And then maybe we could set, this will be Discord test, I don't know. All right, so under alerting, do that, save contact point. Set under alerting alert rules. Create a new rule alert. And this is going to be name Discord test query from influx DB. Use the same enter condition from above. This will be the same one here. Dashboard. Okay. We'll see it firing at 1, but it alerts anything over 0. And then say alert condition. Is when last is above 0. And you will see that it is currently firing if you have a jailed user from first step, from first lab section. There we go. All right, so we can preview alert and condition, boom, and then we can go ahead and come down. Let's go. So we can skip all those. In 5, section 5, set contact point to Discord, and then we'll come down. Section 6. I'm gonna take screenshots of this as well, and the screenshots will be in the lab as well. So I won't just have text in the lab. I'll actually have the screenshots of this as we go. So that'll make it a little easier, I think. And then section 6, set summary to your name, right? And then hit save rule. So when you're done all that, you're going to hit save rule and exit. Oh, what else? What am I missing? What is error inform? Evaluation behavior. Okay, well, I don't have one of those. Select a folder. So new folder, alert, I don't know. So for 3, so we're gonna go up here. 1. Section 2. Okay. Section 3 is going to be down here. Set a new folder to alerts. Section 4 is test alert every 1 minute. 4, set evaluation behavior to alert. That's fine. Most people can figure that out, and they'll save the rule and exit. And if that's alerting and that's going, we should see that now over here firing again, but now with that test message here in a second. If we did all those things right. If not, gotta go fix it. So sandbox. So this was our test alert, but this one is gonna have a label. So this was just a test version of me hitting the test button, and then now this is gonna be. So it does have that rule. It says it is normal. Sent by Discord, and this thing should be evaluating in real time right now. So we should be seeing pending. So now it's pending. Okay. And it's going to pend to fire over here because it's triggering anything over 0. If you have a single user jailed for any reason from SSH, it's going to fire. And it's going to take a minute to fire. So it's pending. And then when it evaluates, we should see this was our test button. We clicked the button with a test for fun. And then now we're going to go on with this. I almost feel like I need to split these into 2 labs, because I feel like this Influx one and the Prometheus Alert Manager one might be a little too much to do in one lab. So especially when you only got an hour in the labs by default. But we should see this update right here in a second. It should alert. It should send. So we see sending value. It's over. It was just created. This should be ready to send here shortly. And this should automatically update. So now it says it's firing, and there's it firing. And it should say summary sent by het to Discord. So you can see that. So that, you know what, that's gonna be the end of that lab. I'm gonna pull the Prometheus stuff out and do the Prometheus Alert Manager in a different lab. It's literally too much stuff to keep, like having Prometheus and do all the other stuff. So I'm gonna strip all that other stuff out, and we're just gonna do the Influx DB for the first part. And then we'll do the other one. So there's our lab firing, guys. We got that going. Let's go ahead and kill this so that it doesn't keep firing, because it'll keep firing in there if we let it. But there's our test lab. So that part of the lab will be pretty well set up then. And what I need to do then is I'm going to pull out Prometheus and that. And then this was going to be the alerting part. Yeah, set up Grafana alerting and then alert manager. So that's going to be the now I gotta like strip it all back kind of, guys, so that I don't. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do next. And maybe I should make my summary a little better. There has been someone jailed. There is a user jailed. But that's a pretty good start for the lab for now. All right, so That's probably all about as clear as mud to most of you guys. But for us on the setup side of this, this is kind of the next part that I need to do to get the labs out to everybody. And then once I have the labs out to everybody, then I can record this as an actual config, you know, for everybody, or as a lab for that course. And then you guys can see firing. And we're just firing to Grafana or to Discord, but I mean, you could fire out to Slack. We were talking about this yesterday in the group. Some guys fire actual stuff out of their applications into Slack, and then they have different channels that things go to. And you can do all these kind of things that you might need to see. You might not care. You might not care if one user gets fail2ban, but if you have like 1,000 users come in all in the first like 10 minutes, you might be like, oh shoot, we're under some kind of attack. We need to at least go check and make sure IPs are properly being banned. If IPs are properly being banned, then you can go back to sleep, right? But if you have some tremendous amount of traffic, you want to make sure that none of it's getting through, right? So now you go and you check, and you're like, all right, they're hitting our Bastion node. Nobody's getting connected via SSH. There's no outbound connections. Okay, we're pretty safe here as far as that goes, and we can just continue to monitor it through the night or whatever, right? You may even do a process that we sometimes do where we disconnect the bastions. We actually have processes in different government systems that I work on where when there's too many things coming into a bastion, we just cut the bastion. We no longer allow the bastion to connect. We stop all user activity through it, and then we go and figure out what's going on and decide if we can open the bastion back up. Which is, by the way, no different than like if you've ever seen, you know, everybody coming into a castle or something, and they're all being checked by the guards, and then somebody does something weird, and they just close the gate, and they're like, all right, nobody else in. Nobody else in. Bastion has worked for what it is. Just stops everybody. It inconveniences everybody. Security always tends to be the enemy of productivity, as the old saying goes, right? But it is also, you know, a valuable thing that we have to do. So, all right, let's get. I'm gonna go grab the Grafana. All this stuff at the bottom here. So under alerting, so verify that the dashboard's working. So we're gonna grab all this alerting stuff here. All of this is gonna go to step 5. So Grafana alerting and dashboard. This will all be in step 5 now. Okay, so set up the Grafana alerting. I'm gonna strip out, so the name will be fail2ban with metric alerting. This is still a good name. These things are still good, but we won't need the node exporter pieces anymore. So let's go pull all that out. Fail2ban, still good. Telegraph stuff, still good. All of this stuff with Prometheus, less important. So index.json. We're gonna take this whole one out right here. Sorry, buddy. Whoops. Yeah, sorry, buddy. Don't need you. And then we'll go step 3. And step 3. Oh wait, hold on. I definitely want to watch how I do this. That'll be step 4, and that'll be step 4. But then now, because I did that, let's make sure there's nothing in step 3 that's needed. This is all just the Prometheus and the node exporter stuff. Sure. All right. Then we need to merc this whole directory. Delete. Get out of here. All right. And then step 4 is going to become step 3. I know it's a hassle, right? It's all a hassle. And step 5 is going to become step 4. All right. It's good enough for government work. All right. Boom. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. We need to fix the text now. Team is you have decided to build a proof of concept and tie it into Grafana monitoring solution. Good. So step 1 is good. Step 2 says install Telegraph InfluxDB and Grafana on your system. So we're going to do that. Index.json should be good, but technically we don't need any of that crap anymore, but we'll just leave it. All right. Get out of here. Get out of here. Step 3. Don't save. Save this one, which is now step 4. Okay. So step 3 has... Oh no. I made a terrible mistake. I don't know, we'll pull all this Prometheus stuff out. Don't need Prometheus anymore. We'll do that in a different lab now. Cause it's too much. I gotta split the labs. It's too much to do in one. We'll break everybody, including myself. That's just too much thinking. All right, and then finish will be look at you learning. You set up and track the stage. You then track the logs. Nope, we didn't track the logs. We then alerted out to Discord through Grafana with a webhook. That's what you did. If you finish this one, verify. That's fine. And verify. Okay. I think as long as all these things are good, let's check it one more time. We should be fine. So we start in our index.json, and that tells us fail2ban with alerting. Install and configure. Yep, everything's good there. Cube admin 2 node. Install and configure. Telegraph influx Grafana. Install. Configure dashboard for influx. We don't have the and Prometheus anymore. Right. And then we'll configure alerts over to Discord. All right. Save that. Then we'll go check. Step 1, fail2ban. Good. Did that quite a few times now. Step 2, telegraph influx DB and Grafana. You know what? The order's bugging me on this. So we are doing Grafana, influx, and then telegraph. So we're gonna switch the order of that because it's been bugging me. So install Grafana, telegraph, and influx DB. And that's even out of order. Influx DB and telegraph on the system. Yeah. This one doesn't need to be wrapped in details. We used to have like the solution section where you would only go look at the solution if you needed it, but we can actually pull all that off. We don't need those. Okay, that's good. Text for the last one. Set up the InfluxDB connection, so that is a straightforward getting that page up. Okay. And did I give a name to the new dashboard? Save the dashboard and call it, I don't know, fail2ban, I don't know, monitor, something like that. I don't know. Doesn't really matter what you call it. Fail2ban monitor. And then in the last step, we'll get down here and we'll build the alerting out. You must have a Discord webhook for this to work. Discord server. Set up the Grafana alerting to Discord. Under alerting, create contact point for Discord. Set all that. Test to Discord. It'll write to the Prolog sandbox channel and then save that contact point. Under alerting, you'll create a new rule. You've got section 1, 2, and then section 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then hit save. Eggs in the top right. Verify. Set summary to your name. There was another thing. So there was a summary to your name and and fail2ban jail set. Hit save and action top right. Verify that the lab triggers the alert into Discord. If the lab is not, or if the alert is not firing, go back to step 1 and ensure that you have node 01 in HD jail by repeating the login attempts. Alright, I don't think that should necessarily have to be said, but Defala said, "Hi brother, I'm stuck and overwhelmed by the journey. I have struggled learning and worried about finding a job on any real takes on what to do." Yeah, so my number one advice on any of this would be, you know, there's an old saying, how do you eat an elephant? You eat it one bite at a time. I would tell you the best thing I can think to do is find some place with people doing this stuff, right? Like we've got a Discord outside of here that you can go and hang out with people. Let me see if I got the link. Here's the Discord link. Yeah. And you can go in and find other people doing this stuff and working with you. In our Discord, there's a section called Beginner Start here, and there are labs and stuff in here. So I've got some Linux beginner stuff that'll link you to YouTube, and there's stuff you can watch. And one of the things about the way I try to do my labs is, especially the beginner stuff, is you can follow along with something. So like the Linux sysadmin course, you can come into the Linux sysadmin course even if you're late to it, because we're halfway through it right now, and you could run the LAC, I think it is, and you could go here, and this is a workbook that the guys have put together on the whole course. This is a free book right here. Anybody can download it. Anybody can run it. I'll link it to you guys. But what I would tell you is just don't get overwhelmed. Do one part at a time. Like Unit 1. What's Unit 1 going to have us do? It's going to get us into the command line. It's going to make us do some stuff. It's going to make us understand some stuff. And then we get in here and start doing it. If you're like, all right, Scott, I can get to the command line. I'm okay with it, but I don't really know what to work on. What I would do then is go into the site Killer Coda, which I think is one of the best sites on the web. Because look, this is how Killer Coda works. You want to learn, let's say you want to learn Ansible. There's this guy, Scott, that'll teach you Ansible, right? That's me, by the way. But this is me teaching you Ansible. And you go in here to Ansible, right? And you'd say, I don't really know much about Ansible, but let's see if I can figure it out. And then here I drop you in a shell, right? This is the cool thing about Killer Coda, is right over the web for free. They drop you in a shell. Oh, this isn't going to work because I got the other one open. You can only have one lab. You can only have one lab running at a time, right? But so I come over here and I go, all right, team has decided they need to use Ansible and they need to connect to a bunch of servers, so you install Ansible. If you've never installed Ansible, there you go, right? And then we're going to go check on the versions and find out some stuff about it and kind of play with it a little bit and hopefully understand something. Stefan, you said that there's an error in 3 in the Tesla fail. You're probably right. Hold on. Step 3. I think is that the old one? That's the old, because I've changed it now. Yeah, I had to pull that other one out. Telegraph service. Maybe I'm probably the old one. You're probably right. It's just the old one. Okay, so I'm updating lab to only have influx db. All right, so we're gonna have to split the labs one more time. We're gonna have to add one more lab to get through all the stuff I want to make you guys do this week. But maybe this will be enough for me to at least push. This will be enough for me to at least push the book out, or not the book, but the labs, and then I'll just owe you guys one more lab, I think, and then I'll work on the lab more. But I do want to get this pushed out so that you guys can at least come down here into the sandbox and be pushing your alerts into the Grafana sandbox. Yeah, you guys see that? This is not Grafana, but Discord sandbox. So, and then sent by het or whatever. All right. But yeah, Dafala, hopefully that helps you out. I mean, I would just tell you do this one step at a time. If any of this stuff looks like I know what I'm doing, it's only because I've been doing it for 20 something years, and I've been teaching it at the college level for 16, almost 17. But other than that, like, you guys can do this. It's just you have to spend time with it. There's no shortcut to this. There's no, like, I don't think there's any high barrier of entry. Like, I don't think you need some kind of brilliant take intellect that only, like 10 people can achieve, and because they were born that way. I don't think that's required. In fact, I'll tell you guys, I tell you guys this all the time, and people don't seem to believe me, but I'm not that smart. I definitely have an above average, like, memory, like, ability to retain things, but guys, I've told you guys, I know engineers that can do calculus in their head. And you say, what, you can tell them a point on a calculus equation, they can give it? Yes. Yep. I've known 2 engineers in my life that can do that. They are smarter than me. They will always be smarter. But the one thing about it is being smart isn't the only thing for this. Being smart is one part of it, I guess. But for me, it's like you really just have to get in here and work on this. All of those guys, I can tell you right now, all of those guys, I'll tell you right now, they would definitely tell you that they want to work with me because I'm a guy who gets stuff built. I'm good at these base things. I do simple things well. I don't do all the smart things great, but I do the simple things well. So anyways, that was coming from a question because somebody had asked about like what we should do if we get overwhelmed with this, and I would tell you just get in there and start somewhere, right? Start building. Like, this didn't get built overnight. The home lab setup that I have and the labs that I let you guys access, I didn't build this overnight, right? This Stream Interactive thing we did build on Friday, so that works, but I don't have that turned on right now, but we could do Stream Interactive stuff. Normally on Sundays, I just do labs with you guys, right? Normally that's what I do, but for today, I wanted to get this lab working. So I think this lab is set, so now I'm going to actually go and I'm going to run through it one more time for real. So let's go get rid of that, and we're going to go into Killer Coda, and we're going to check these labs, and we're going to make sure that it works right. So I know that's bright. It's a web page. What can we do? Creator. We'll go to mine, and we'll make sure that we've got my last pull in there, and then we're going to do 110 fail2ban with metric alerting. And then the last one, we'll just do. We're just going to do. We're going to call the other one something else. So don't worry about it. All right, Creator, come on. What's going on here? I think Killer Coda is either under super heavy load or under attack or something. Because, like, we were talking about this yesterday. Like, Killer Coda is just so sluggish right now. But, okay, we see May 11th for me at 9:29. Yep, so it took my last update. So I'm going to go into my Linux labs, and we're going to walk through this one. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to get to fail2ban with alert. Yeah, this one should work out all the way to the end. But before I do that, I'm going to go take a quick break. So here's my little hourglass. Oh, do I have something else open? Hold on. I have this one open, so I got to get rid of this one. Yeah, this was the Ansible one. All right, we're going to get rid of all that, and we're going to go back for a second. And it's going to take a second to come up. If anybody wants to do this lab with me, I think well, I'll do it one more time, and then we'll do it together if anybody wants to do it with me. But it's going to be fail2ban with alerting. Let me get my little hourglass up. And Winded Dragon, how's it going? We are not working too hard today. Not doing like our normal lab stuff. Normally I'm popping through labs and stuff, but we're building a lab today, so it's less of that. Break and check on Ranger. And we'll go 10 minutes. We'll do a 10-minute break. Yeah, but to follow, the number one thing I would tell you first is find a group of people that you can hang out with. And I always say that our Discord's welcoming, but also if it's not the place for somebody, find somewhere. Find somewhere where people are doing this stuff that's interesting to you, because you will get more pushed up like coals to the middle of a fire, and you'll be like more on fire and more, I don't know, be more fun, I guess. You'll think about this stuff more. Let's go look at Ranger. There's Ranger Cam, and we'll go take a break real quick, and maybe I'll go give him a treat or something. All right, I'm back, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh man, Ranger hasn't even moved. Look at him down there. That dog. That dog. Alright, I'm gonna keep wandering around a little bit. I need to walk it off a little bit. Yeah, winded. You can. So this is an older version of Grafana. You can't get away with it in the newer one as much, but I got an old version that I run just for the camera. It's 6.7. The newer versions, I don't think they have it, but you have to set like dirty pages to true, and then insecure. There's like some kind of insecure HTML sanitize set to false or something. So those two things have to be set. But then yeah, it's just running. We used to be able to run, I don't think you can really do this anymore, but you used to just be able to pass iframes through. And then we just pass an iframe through with an MJPEG. Yeah, and Grafana can handle it on the older version. The newer versions probably can handle it, but there's security reasons that they don't, I think. But yeah, that's I used to set that up for Ranger. Yeah, just Ranger cam. Pretty good little dog. He's old. He's downstairs hanging out. Wife's coming home today, so that's pretty cool. I put his toys out. I put his toys out so you guys can see his toys, but it looks like he wandered around and knocked them over. I think I've told some of you guys this. Ranger has never. He has never been a. He has never chewed on his toys. These are the same toys he's had since he was a baby dog. Well, I got this one when he was older, but the llama and the giraffe he's had since he was as big as them. He doesn't chew on toys. He never has. He does chew on tennis balls though. Ranger's a tennis ball fanatic. He's killed many hundreds of tennis balls in his life. Never wanted to chew on anything else. Well, he chews hard food and tennis balls, not this stuff. So that's Ranger. We'll hang out a little bit more, do a little bit more of a break, and then I'm gonna run through this part of the lab, and then I'll probably call the lab section for this week good, so that people can start working on it. And then I will be adding, though. I definitely have to add that one last part, which is the I want to do the high memory or high CPU alerting with Prometheus and Alert Manager. So that's gonna be my next one. So yeah, Ranger's a pretty good dog. When did you said the dog you had when you were a kid also never chewed on toys, but he'd always make a circle of them and sit in the middle? That's actually really funny. He's got like his little cult of toys that kind of hang out and do whatever. Yeah. Also, I have a cut on my thumb, and I couldn't figure out where it's from. I'm almost positive it's from the edge of my glasses. Like, my glasses are very sharp underneath. I don't think they polished them when I got them. So, like, the edge of the glass on my glasses is very sharp, and I'm pretty sure that's how I cut my thumb. Now that I feel right now that I got a pretty not nasty, but a very sharp cut on my thumb, and I bet it's from that. So, all right. Yeah, but yeah, Ranger's a good dog. He's almost 14, which is pretty old in big dog years. So yeah, 14 in real years, you know, which I think is like close to 90 in dog years or something. So we give him meds day and night. We give him he still eats only hard food, which is good, but I do give him soft food as a treat on the weekends, but he still has hard food with it, so he doesn't lose too much weight. So he's pretty good. Pretty good guard dog. Although I don't think he's actually guarded us last few years. He's way too old. He just kind of lays down there now. But all in all, good dog. Fun to have him. I'm gonna leave this. Well, you know what? I'll go ahead and stop the lab, or stop the break because I'm back. I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna do this over here, and you guys can keep watching Ranger Dog. But I'm gonna start with the fail2ban with alerting, and I'm gonna make sure that this part of the lab works, and then I'm gonna finish up the book, not the book, but the this part. And there's the fail2ban with alerting. Yep. And then the questions: do you see fail2ban in the Grafana dashboard? If not, how are you going to troubleshoot it? Did you get your test alert and then real alert to trigger into the Discord alert Discord channel? Okay, those are your things. What other applications or uses for this could you think of? Do you have other channels that you noticed, or other alerts, or other places you could send alerts that would help you professionally? Because I ask a lot of questions, right? Okay. I'm gonna have to pull off this one. We're gonna leave. We'll leave it. We'll leave that, and we'll leave that. But I did bite off more than I could chew on that. All right, so we're gonna go test this real quick. So we're gonna do the lab. If you guys want to hang out and do the lab with me, I think it's about good enough now that we can send this. So boom, and boom. So I'm gonna drop this in both of the chats if anybody wants to do it with me. If you just want to sit around and watch, that's fine too, I guess. Your team is testing fail2ban to protect your SSHD. So we're going to install fail2ban. We're going to check the client. Install fail2ban on the server. Check the client. Make sure the client's there. There's our client version. Good. We're going to go and check in here if SSH is set up, and we're going to set it right here at the top. I'm just going to go ahead and write our max retry equals 5 and find time equals 10, and then ban time equals 4 hours, which is fine for now. Good enough for government work. Escape :W, I like to write it, and then I go /SSHD to go find this stuff. And really, I could just DD these lines. I mean, commenting them out is the same as DDing them as far as I'm concerned. So escape :WQ. And that's good. So we're going to restart fail2ban, and then it should start with no problems. You're going to have to hit Q. You know what? I'm going to... That's going to bug me. So I'm going to set right here in the step 1 on this. I'm going to go set that because I don't like that you have to hit no pager. So I'm going to set that, and then I'm also going to set it back in the original one too, which is the fail2ban one. Because that's just, it bugs me that you have to do status fail2ban -- no -pager. Yeah. And let's also go, whoops, let's also go check to make sure I'm not losing my mind. It should be no -pager. Yep. And then there you go. And you get back to a command prompt better that way. All right, good. We'll SSH over to node 01. We'll test our break. We are for sure, yep, we are for sure locked out. So now we exit, and we go and we see the failure. There's the failure. There's the banned IP. We can see that banned right there. Sure. And then we're going to unban them for now. Fail2ban client set SSHD unban IP of that one that you found in your lab. It won't be the specific one. You have to make sure whatever it is from the logs. All right. Enter, and then now we can go over to node 01 and we can get back to control plane, and we're good. So then we exit back out and we come over here, and you know what, I need to probably say at the end of that one exit twice. So at the end of, we're going to close that. We're going to close that. At the end of this one, we're going to say, did you connect back correctly? If so, move on. If so, exit twice and then move on to the next part of the lab. There we go. Because we're going to do the failures later and you don't want to be stuck in there because then you're going to get locked out forever. This is the other one with the no pager, so I'm going to do that. Fine. All right. So we're down here. Let's get this out of the way. Ranger's not doing nothing, so I'm gonna reclaim that part of my screen again. I wasn't gonna take that screen back, but since Ranger's just laying there being lazy, we're not gonna watch him all day. Verify should work, and now we're on the Grafana part. So let's get to the Grafana part. This part should be install Grafana, InfluxDB, and Telegraph on the system, in that order. So boom, install. Okay, make sure that's there, get that. And then Grafana takes about 30 seconds to install or so, so we'll sit here for a little bit as that's going. By the way, if any of you guys hopped in late, you can you can do this lab with me if you wanted to. But if we have any errors, I gotta go fix them. So let's see if we can't get through this lab. And actually, this time around, I'm gonna grab all my images. So as we do it this time, I'm going to grab my images, which are going to become assets. So this will be, this is going to be a little bit of work, but it is what it is, right? We need to, all right, that's there. Daemon reload, start Grafana, check it, it's running. Give it about 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. All right, boom, it's up, it's seeing everything. So now we can go in. Got to do the whole song and dance of the username and password, which will by default, as it says over here, be admin, and you got to change it to your own little whatever you want it to be. So I'm going to change it real quick to admin, login, and we're going to make it something else. Okay. Now we're connected in, so that's cool. We're going to go to the next part, which is going to install InfluxDB, get that all running, get it started on our system, and it'll be 8086 is the port number that we're looking for once it's running. And if this is all running, yep, it's running, we should be able to connect right over to it and then do this next part, which the next part is, it says right here to, or open the image in a new tab if we wanted. Here's the image, user lab test. That is also the same thing that I have now set up as down here where it says lab test, and then there's a token. So you got a token, you've got your inputs DB. Okay, so we're good on that. Let's go set it up. So we'll set this up, and it'll be username. So user, password, super secure password, and then lab test. Right? Continue. We're going to grab this token, and we're going to go throw it in a notepad somewhere. Right? I'm a big fan of just having a notepad somewhere and making sure you know what your token is. Boom. There's our token for this. I'm going to grab that. Come back over here, and then we could say, we go to quick start or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Now we're going to go into our telegraph tool. Wait a minute. Did we not install? Oh, we need to update it and install it. That's the last part. So let's get telegraph on our system. Apparently I didn't do that yet. Get telegraph on. We'll go and we'll do this last little part, and then we'll go. There's telegraph / influx db, and we're on version 2, so that's what we want. That's the that's the URL that we want. Here's the, we'll DD that line and hit O, and then Control Shift to paste the token in. Organization will be test, and we will make sure that that's not commented. And then the bucket will be lab, or organization will be lab rather. Sorry, my bad. Lab, and test. And if you need that, you can find that back on your image that you pulled out from earlier. So organization lab, bucket test. Cool, I can keep that open. Escape :q just to write it, and then I'll go / to fail2ban. And I'm going to look at fail2ban, and I'm going to say, okay, I need this to look like this other part down here, which is sudo, and use sudo. You can come here and say DW to go to the end of the line, delete. Well, delete to the end of the word. $$ would take you to the end of the line, and then true. So we're going to do fail2ban. But then the last thing we need for fail2ban work is we need to set up the sudo permissions for it. And the sudo permissions are going to be command alias, telegraph having all permissions to do those basic file things. So Control C, Control Shift V, escape : WQ. And then now we can verify that he has all the sudoers permissions, and we'll restart telegraph. And then boom, telegraph's running. All right. If all of those things are working, we'll go back into our dashboard and we'll set up the, no, don't want to save it. We're going to set up the connection over there. So we're going to go connection influx DB here. And here's all the answers. Influx DB, there's the information and the client token and organization and bucket. And you want to make sure that you're using Flux. Get dashboard that shows, let's see, does it say log into Grafana earlier if you didn't? Okay. All right. I might need to make sure, add new data source, Flux. We definitely want to support Flux. There's our information. Here's our token from earlier. We just need the token portion. Organization is lab, and bucket is test. If we save and test it, we'll see everything working. I do need to add part of this to say change the query language to Flux. So I did not see that up here. Create data source for InfluxDB in the page. Query language is equal to Flux. URL is equal to that. And you also need to know all of your client information. All right, so that's good, right? So then we hit save. And I'm going to say when you hit save and test, you should see it connect correctly to the Influx DB2 server. And then now the next one is going to create a dashboard that shows your telemetry information. This is less important to us, but that's fine. Save and test worked. We're going to go to a dashboard and create a dashboard. So this is the connect. Okay, so this is actually the steps here. This is the answer to the one above. So I might move this up here. Get the data source for all that stuff. Okay, so if you did all that, yeah, query language to Flux. Okay, so there's all the same things. Okay. I feel like I have that in here twice now, so I'm going to take this all out. All right, create a new dashboard, select a new panel. So dashboard, new dashboard. Yep. Pick the source, so add a visualization. A new. Is that what it was called? Hold on. Shit, let's make a new one. Discard. Discard the whole thing. I'm gonna do it again. Fuck our dashboards. New dashboard. Add visualization. Select add. Okay. InfluxDB, and then choose a sample filter. Filter by value. Verify the dashboard is working properly. Okay. We're gonna drop in. So by the way, we're gonna drop in this from earlier. So drop in this. Choose a sample query of. No, just drop. Let's say name your channel. I don't know, fail to ban jails. Jails. Set this as your query. So here's your query, right? Let's copy it and make sure it works. Oh, geez. All right, here we go. Control C from bucket test. Boom. We should be able to, you can actually run it right here. Or, for me, I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. Whatever. Sure, I don't care. And then now we should see that it's 0 right now. Verify dashboard is working properly. You will either see the jail for SSHD set at 0 or 1, depending on how you left step 1 of the lab. If you did not play around with it, it will show 0. All right, you know, because like if you were playing around with it up and down, doing different whatever. Save dashboard and call it fail2ban monitor or whatever. I don't know. Fail2ban. And then save your dashboard as, what would I call it? Fail2ban monitor. It doesn't matter for me what I call it. So that's fine. Cancel. Control S over here. Get out of there. And then now we're on step 4. And step 4, we're going to have a webhook. So we have to have our webhook from, for me, it's over on this other window. So I have my webhook. And then we're going to go to, we'll save dashboard, sure. Save, whatever. The dashboards have kind of a certain amount of like a Git versioning on them as far as you could write whatever you wanted to. So, all right, we're going to go to home. And it says over here to go under alerting. We do need a Discord webhook if we don't have it, but we're going to go to contact point. So we're going to manage contact points and create a new contact point. And the contact point will be called, what did I say it was going to be called? Discord. Right? There's Discord. Integration over there is going to be Discord. We see that over there. And then we got to drop our webhook URL. So you've got a webhook URL, or you make one, or you get it from us. I won't obviously be showing it here, but boom, we'll drop it in there. You can't see the whole thing. And then there's optional Discord settings if we want. We can set like an avatar. That's funny. We don't need to do any of that for now. Notification settings, sure. But now we can save if that's all the pieces. We can come over here. We're going to test that out to our Discord. So let's pull up our Discord for a second. Where's that at? Discord's over here. And we are going to hit test. And right here, there's our test value being set. Okay. Now, I kind of think that's fine. We'll go ahead and cancel. We'll save the contact point, right? So now we've got it, and it says that it's unused. That's fine for now. We'll get this out of the way. And then the next thing will be to, under alerting, we're going to make an alert rule, and we are going to use InfluxDB. So let's see, under alerting, new alert rule. Give alert a name. This can be, what's our name over here? Discord. That's a contact point. Okay, this will be Discord test. Whatever. Query is from InfluxDB, and it's the same query that we just did. Right? Boom. And then condition is when last is above 0. So that's up here. Last is above 0. Good. You will see that it's currently firing if you have a jailed user. We don't have a jailed user, so we can preview and we won't see it running just yet. So it's normal. But we're going to go trigger that again. Folder and labels, we'll make a new folder. And this will be alerts. We will set a evaluation behavior, which will be, what do we call this one? Alerts. And it'll be every 1 minute. Sure. Come down here. Configure notifications. We're going to send that to Discord, right? And then under the message, we're going to say het test fail2ban jail, right? And then we're going to come down here and we're going to save the rule and exit. Now, that rule is normal, so now I got to go trigger it. So verify that the lab triggers and the alert goes into Discord. If the alert's not firing, go back to step 1 and ensure that you are SSH to node 01, right? And I'm going to get ready to do this. And when I do this, within a minute, we should see Discord fire with my alert. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to trigger it, right? So there's that. That just triggered it. We now have a jail, or a jailed user. And then over here, we just wait for about a minute or so. It should be about a minute. And we're going to have a test firing over into here that's going to say het test, and it's going to be like fail2ban or something like that. That's what it's going to show over here. Earlier, I just did one that just sent by het to Discord, but I'd prefer it to say like specifically which lab you were doing or whatever, because that'll make it a little more. I think if nobody else is working on it, you'll very clearly see that it's yours. But maybe a bunch of people are working on them all together and they want to make sure it's theirs and not somebody else's. You can just have it be your name. So that's triggering through the system right now, and we should in a few seconds here see this pop up. So let's see. Was this? That was our. Yeah, that was that. So we should have it. It should be coming through soon. For fun, just for fun, I can go make sure that somebody is jailed right now. Somebody should be jailed. I should get banned. I see them banned. Yep, they're banned. Over here, this should be firing. Yeah, so it's pending right now. You can see that it's sitting in pending, and it should be firing here soon, within the next minute. It's still in the pending state, so it's about to fire, and then it's going to fire off over here. So you got to give it a minute. Oh, it's firing right now, so it should come over. If I have my webhook right. Hope I have the webhook right. Yeah, there we go. Okay, het test fail2ban jail. There we go. All right, so you may have to wait. Of 3 minutes for the. All right, I think that is a pretty good start for that. So then we'll close the lab down. We'll close that whole thing down. Get rid of that. I meant to be doing that as we went, but I didn't, so it's fine. And we're gonna say updated, finished draft, final draft, run through of lab 110. And then boom. Excuse me. So now what we're going to do, we're going to come back to our lab monitoring. We have this, we have this, we have this, and then we're going to go ahead and we're just going to call this good for now, and I'm going to do the alert manager one after, and it won't be a required part of the lab, but maybe I'll add it back into the course later. So we're going to save this. And we're going to file, we're going to save this as a PDF because the guys like this in PDF mode as I upload it. So then I'll grab the Discord over here and I'll go into our Prolog projects and then say lab unit 7 lab PDF. All right, go grab that PDF. And man, that was a freaking lot of work, guys. Monitoring and alerting. Boom. Unit 7 lab PDF. All right. And then that'll get worked up into the rest of the course here for people that are trying to get better at the Linux stuff. Getting a little more experience, guys. Having more stuff to put on your resume. I really got to get the Prometheus part into that, but we're gonna call that good for now, and then I'll just have to have the guys when I update it, they'll just have to pull that last little part in as a new lab. So, Alert Manager is a fun tool, and it can alert and trigger us on some of the same stuff. By the way, we do have a Discord that you guys can hang out in. Look, there's a lot of stuff going on. I check it pretty regularly, and there's still a lot of stuff going on in there. So feel free to hang out there with other people and talk shop and do all that kind of stuff. One thing I do need to do that I'm not going to do right now, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, but I'm going to be like Ranger, is I do need to record this. So here's our Linux security engineering stuff, and I'm going to record this probably sometime today, and then this is all of that stuff, and then we'll go through those individual pieces of alerting. Maybe I do need to get the Grafana. I feel like, if any of you guys have ever seen Bob's Burgers, I feel like the daughter who's like, she just always fucking doesn't care about anything. She's just like, That's how I feel right now. I'll do this part later. All right. So anyways, what else do we got? We could do some more stuff. We could work on some stuff, but I'll probably go ahead and call this and say that we'll take a little bit of a break. Most of the time on Sundays, you'll see me doing labs. I am going to be updating the book soon too, because I was thinking about it. I got all these new labs. I might as well add them to the book. And then people that have the book already, if you ever bought the book off LeanPub, you'll get the new version with all the new labs. And then if you haven't bought it, then you would have the opportunity to buy it, obviously. LeanPub, I think the book's like $20 or something. Sometimes it goes on sale. But that's always an option. I don't think you need the book to get better at this stuff. I think you just need to get in there and spend time on it. But the book is just more kind of directed learning and things to kind of work on around this stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're doing here. So, all right, let me get out of this other thing over here. There's our webhook. So you guys have the webhook. If you have the webhook, then you'll know how to go get that. And what else? Yeah, I think I'm kind of beat. Like, I didn't get to bed till kind of late last night. I tried to stay up till midnight, guys, because like I'm old now. I tried to stay up to midnight, and I was like falling out at like 11:30. I was streaming, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna stay up, and I hit a wall, and I was like, I'm tired. I went and laid down. And I woke up tired too, because like I got up at around 5. I got up at 4:20 originally, but then I got up around 6, I think, when the wife texted me. So yeah, I don't know. All right. If anybody has any questions, just let me know down in the Discord. Typically, I am gonna. So guys, I have an integration I want to set up. Let me show you this real quick before I drop off of here. I don't want to drop off right after an ad. Let me show you guys an integration I want to set up. So Excalidraw, I don't know if I could type. Excalidraw is a nice little tool. And I have this set up right now, right? Like, we can send stuff directly into, like if you do the command answers, and then from YouTube or Twitch, we send you into a file, and then the streamer bot grabs that and actually runs over in a Linux environment, and you guys can watch that. Some of you guys were here on Friday when we were working through that, and that was a pretty straightforward little process to build. And we got that all running. We could turn that on. That's like an engine that's going if we want. But what I also want to integrate is I can do that same webhook thing like I just did with the Sandbox channel, and we could send like questions that you guys have. So like if you had ! Question, we could have you send that out of here, and it would go over into like the questions, like the Twitch YouTube questions section, and then you guys would have what you guys would be able to do is drop questions in there, and then I would probably just tell the community to answer them or give you links or give their information about it. And the reason that would be valuable to me is, one, it would let the community help you guys out, not just me while we're working on stuff. But two, you would have a persistent place to go look at like questions people have asked, right? And get your resources or whatever. There is a limited search function in Discord, but I think it's absolutely atrocious. Like I think it's like the worst search function I've ever seen. But anyways, you would come in here and then it would automatically drop your questions over. You guys want me to? I mean, I don't know. I guess I have a little bit of a second wind. I can set that up right now if we want to try that. But then we have to figure out. I don't know, channel points or something. Do you want to do that with like channel point? Like if you have enough channel points, it'll trigger. I don't know. Like that wouldn't help the YouTube people because YouTube people don't get channel points like people on Twitch do. So I have to figure something out. I don't want it to be one of those like you have to cheer bits or something. I think that's kind of corny. Like oh, you got to pay to hang out. I don't want anybody to have to pay to hang out with us. That seems to me as though the most ridiculous thing with streamers. But I say that and I just use Turbo so I don't have to watch ads anywhere anyways. So I don't even subscribe to anything. But something to think about. Yeah, so the 24 yacht, that's funny. We were talking about last night because I did a thing last night on getting into streaming, and I was showing how to like set up OBS and like just things, and they were like, "Hey, have you ever thought about streaming on TikTok?" And I'm like, I wouldn't even like the TikTok thing like passed me by, guys. Like I don't even know. I never installed TikTok. I never ran it. I've had videos sent to me from people on TikTok, but like it doesn't. I don't know how to say this that's going to like not offend somebody, but I'm going to say it. I don't think that the people that consume something like TikTok would be able to watch me for more than a minute. So what I mean by that is like if you're looking to just like doom scroll and mess around and have funnies in your face, which by the way, I love that stuff more than probably anybody. They would not. That's not when I'm in that mode. I wouldn't want to hear a guy like me either. Like when I'm like watching, like, because my buddies will send me like vet stuff and like, my old army buddies and stuff, and like we'll send shooting stuff and hunting stuff, just all kinds of stuff. Yeah. I'm not made for 18-second short. My shorts on YouTube have like 1,000 views, and it's mostly people that know me. Like, and they're like, oh yeah, that's okay, but like I'm no good at shorts. I don't have little quippy, witty stuff. I'm gonna like. But then again, engineering doesn't happen in a quick, witty manner. I know as much as some people would. There's infotainers out there, and as much as those infotainers would like you to think that like it's just hacker man, that's not how it works, right? That's not how things get built. That's not how like real things that stand the test of time stay up, right? They take time and active thoughts and that kind of stuff. So. I'll make you guys a deal. We'll set up. Maybe we'll start doing on Sundays when we're doing labs. As we're doing labs, as I have questions and stuff, you guys will be able to answer them, and I'll have the little Linux box up so you guys can watch that as we're doing whatever we're doing over on the right. I think that would be a fun little thing. Kind of like if I ask any like little challenge type questions, it'll almost be like. Well, because, I've been teaching college forever. It'd almost be like when I would stop and ask my college students something, and then you guys would be able to answer, see it up on the board, basically, see it up on the screen, and then go from there. But yeah, we got that all working on Friday. That was actually kind of fun. But I think I'm going to take a little break, and then I probably won't be back on today because the wife's coming back today, so her and I are going to hang out. Probably go grab some food later. Can I get one Kubernetes? That's funny. If you guys don't remember the can I get one Kubernetes, we were talking about how like people just think you're casting spells as a Linux engineer or a Linux admin, and then Kubernetes is the same way, but even worse. They're like, I need to have a Kubernetes in my environment. If I can have a Kubernetes, can you build me one of a Kubernetes? they don't know what they want. They just know that that's what everybody else has. So that's kind of funny to me. So. All right, I'm going to go ahead and drop off of here then. I appreciate everybody coming. My best advice to you guys, if this stuff's interesting to you, is come hop down in the Discord. I'll give you guys the Discord one more time. It's also linked on the YouTube underneath. And, go find, you find your little community there of people that are maybe doing stuff that interests you and stuff that you're... And again, if it's not our community, it's some other one, find any of them. And then go find some stuff and work on that. I'll do a raid on the Twitch side. Let's see if there's anybody to raid over to. Anybody I'm following. Here, I'll send you guys to somebody that's always got a high energy. We'll go raid Rossberger. So, I appreciate you guys coming by. I will see most of you later on this week. If you're doing the courses, keep working at it. There's a lot of work to do. I have purposely made these with a lot of work because you will feel like you learned something. All right, thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you guys later.